Joshua Carty, Sean McVay couldn't say enough about the job he's done. Now this one will carry, fielded at the 8-yard line. Anthony Gould tripping up, and Gould down.
From the start of training camp, and did a hell of a job.
There's Jonathan Taylor, the first touch for the NFL's leading rusher, and he pushes it forward.
Pass to score, run to win. They've got the players to do that.
On 2nd and 6, it's a play fake. Jones on the roll, using his legs, but he can't outrun Byron Young. Boy, Young is such a dynamic defensive player. 2nd in the league in sacks, 2nd in the league in tackles for loss. This one a loss of 1.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the key parts of the game is how do things happen out on the edge? Because just as you said, Kevin, this Rams defense.
Rams will bring a little pressure. It's picked up, and Jones finds Pittman. There won't be a 3-and-out on this possession either. Back here with a lot of friends and family on hand. 1st down and 10. It's Taylor. And rather Jones on the play fake. He's going up top, looking downfield for Adonai Mitchell, and it's intercepted. Cam Curl with the pick. Down the sideline goes Curl, and Curl out of bounds at the 45.
It's there. Here's Adonai Mitchell over here on this side. He's going to run a route that clears all the way over the top. And if you can just get it out ahead of him, Cam Curl is coming from behind. And because it's underthrown, he's able to make the play on the football. So it was there. Daniel Jones just got to get that one out a little bit further.
On 1st down, Kyron Williams into the secondary. A burst for a 1st down.
Really, I mean, people talk about his arm talent, his cerebral skills, but his toughness has always been the most impressive thing to me.
Puka Nacua, his first catch. It's been a nice 1-2 punch early for the Rams at that running back spot. This is number 1, Kyron Williams in that 1-2 punch. And Williams, you can see, he's so good at making people miss and at breaking tackle. Turn the Colts away. Stafford, pressure comes, hit as he throws, and that one's incomplete. 2nd down and 10, it's Williams, burst up the middle, and Williams down to the 42-yard line. From the couch to the starting lineup in less than a week for Mike Hilton. Stafford to the sideline. Puka Nacua finding space and finding a 1st down. 1st down and 10, and there's Corum, and here comes a late flag.
Holding, defense. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic. 1st down.
And let's not lose sight of everything that happened. And to go up the way they did, 26-7 at Philly, and then fall behind and come back and have an opportunity to win. I mean, that says a lot about the resolve, the character that this team has.
Holding, number 89, offense. 10-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
And you're a late release as an outlet for your quarterback. So I didn't really see a hold there on Tyler Higbee.
1st and 20. Stafford under pressure, dumps it short to Kyron Williams, who's down at the 30. 2nd and 15, 4-man pressure. Stafford over to the sideline goes Jordan Whittington with his first catch. Xavier Howard, 3rd down and 8, 6 defensive backs out there. Colts bring pressure with 1, and it's almost intercepted by Zaire Franklin. 42-yard try for Joshua Carty. Of course, we saw 2 blocks last week for this Ram kicker. No block this time, and Carty puts it right down the middle in Los Angeles. Heavily involved in that drive, coming off the turnover, first of the year from the Colts. The kickoff that bounces. Anthony Gould will pick it up, and Gould with some room. Gould down the sideline, and it's Carty who knocked him out of bounds near midfield.
And this was going to be strength versus strength. We talked about the philosophy for the kickoff for the Rams, but the Colts have been great with their return game and really basically what the dynamic kickoff is now.
Jones and the Colts with their 2nd possession. Pressure up the middle. Jones jumps it into the open space and finds Tyler Warren, who powers his way inside the 30 and down at the 28. Boy, that heat from Kobe Turner got there quickly, and Jones got rid of it.
Yeah, right. How do you let 84 get open downfield. And good thing he was, because you're exactly right, Kevin. I mean, Kobe Turner is right there. Another half tick, and that is not a completion.
Downs the motion man. Jones with time this time, and there's Warren again. The rookie tight end, not only as a receiver.
First and second option in the progression are coming open quite often.
Here's Jones. Pressure comes. He just dirts this one. He could feel that heat coming from the backside from Josiah Stewart.
There's no intentional grounding on the play. The receiver was in the area. Offensive pass interference, number 11. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
For the Indianapolis Colts with that penalty. 2nd and 15. Jones over the middle, almost intercepted. Cameron Kinchins had it hit him in the hands, and he couldn't pull it in. Jones fortunate to avoid his second pick of the quarter.
Wow, I mean, he reads this perfectly, plays it perfectly, just doesn't finish.
5-man pressure. Jones in trouble. Dumps it to Taylor. But waiting for that was Byron Young. There is a flag down, and this may be a hold against the Colts and push him.
Holding, number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
11 plus in that area. We're 2nd and 13 here on this drive. So they're out of sorts offensively.
3rd and 25. Jones trying to get back into field goal range, and Adonai. Good snap and hold and the kick. Good by plenty for Spencer Schrader to go in this first quarter. This 5-play, 17-yard scoring drive set up by the kick return as Whittington from the 4-yard line. Whittington across the 20, steps through a couple of tackles as he tries to get to the edge, but well defended in the return game by the Colts.
You see Matthew Stafford under center like he is right now much more. It marries the run game with the passing game, and you see how effective they are running the football, and it was one of the things that I was really impressed with last week, depending on what we choose to do.
Saw that under center rate, 63% under center, the most in the last few years.
When you come back up, just that fraction of a second can be very costly.
Corum stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain. DeForest Buckner the first there. The veteran out of Oregon in his 10th season.
They're Grover Stewart. I mean, it's a mass of big bodies.
Stafford, a deflection off the hands of Blake Corum. Matched up at the bottom of your screen against Charvarius Ward. Stafford off the high shotgun snap, throwing over the middle. He's got his tight end, and Tyler Higbee is down right near the line to gain. Needed the 46-yard line, and he may be about a half-yard short based on the spot he is. Rams are 5 for 5 on 3rd or 4th and 1 this year, and it's Stafford with the sneak. Stafford has stood up. I am not sure he got that one.
The ball goes over on downs to Indianapolis. Their challenge is successful. Please set the game clock to 2:24. It'll be first down Indianapolis.
5. I thought he was at least closer to the 46.
Daniel Jones trying to cash in on the opportunity. He'll check it short to Jonathan Taylor. Taylor will scoot up the sidelines, breaks one tackle as we bring in Mike Pereira from our... It is rare that we see that. Thanks, Mike. Here's Jonathan Taylor dancing around in the backfield. There was terrific penetration. 2nd and 9 at the 34. Jones double pumps and finds Josh Downs short of the first down at the 29, a pickup of 5. Low shotgun snap. Jones in some trouble. Finds Downs. There's a guy making a big play, and he makes it to get the first down. The 24, here's Jonathan Taylor bouncing to the edge. Taylor turns on the Jets, and he's got a first down. Out of bounds near the 11 of Los Angeles. A pickup of 12 and a first down.
I just want you to watch this. Watch the patience. Now, remember, this is a guy...
In all those categories seems like a good thing. The jet sweep to Doolin, and Doolin breaks a tackle and is down near the 3-yard line. Jared Verse with the shove for the Colts. Can they cash in with a touchdown in this trip? Taylor will try, and Taylor stops short of the goal line. He can get a first down at the
formation. Look how wide.
In the Wildcat, the tight end running from the Wildcat, and he's down at the 2, very close to the first down. Jones under center, turns, hands to Warren. Warren barrels inside the 2 and is down at the 1. No, it's a touchdown. Warren into the end zone for 6, and the Colts take a 9-3 lead.
Well, we saw a little old school play last week. They went back to a play that was popular when I was playing, the isolation play. And it looks like it's going to be the same. Not just a blocker coming out of the backfield now, but some run plays for Tyler Warren as well.
And Schrader, good on the extra point, makes it 10-3 with his first career rushing touchdown. A 2-yard surge up the middle to give Indianapolis the lead. And on the return, Xavier Smith down shy of the 25.
And to see them have this early season success has just been awesome.
Yeah, Chris Ballard and his scouts and staff do a terrific job as Corum can't pull that one in from Stafford. And the draw to Corum. And Corum will fight out near the 26-yard line before he's bent. Stafford gets the shotgun snap with a 5-man rush over the middle. Nacua with the catch. You need a first down. Where do you go? Puka Nacua. From the 40, Corum the carry on first down. Has some room and out across midfield into Colts territory. It's Corum again on the carry. Turns upfield. Really nice cut to find that small opening and pick up 5.
That's when good things happen.
Play action, Stafford short, and an excellent tackle made by Nick Cross. Davis Allen. Watch Nacua in motion at the bottom of your screen. Stafford with pressure coming late, looking for Nacua down the sideline, and Stafford drops it in. Nacua finishing it off. It's a first down at the 13. Pitch and catch, Nets 31.
Yeah, they're finding that matchup with Xavier and Howard. We talked about it before where it was just tough. He turns them around right there, and he loses that step. And let me tell you, Matthew Stafford is not at the bit to come out and play today.
First down carry for Kyron Williams. Could cut, weaving through defenders and down to the 5. Flag down behind the play.
Holding, number 19. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Rams on this drive until that hold. First and 20, Corum the carry into the middle of that defense, and just not much room there. DeForest Buckner was there, Kwity Paye was there. You saw Hilton come up. Second and 19. Whittington the motion man. They set it up for Corum. Colts everywhere, and a stampede of Indianapolis Colts. Led by DeForest Buckner, bringing Blake Corum down, a loss of 6.
Yeah, Joe Bocci is the first one that does it. He forces everything back inside. He does a good job with his pursuit angle. So I think that's Joe Bocci right there. We'll keep an eye on him. He recognizes. Now watch how he attacks.
Puka Nacua, the wide receiver in the slot to the bottom of your screen. And it'll be Kyron Williams looking for some running room. Finds a nice little crease and is down to the 19-yard line. Particularly concerned. They came in 6 touchdowns in 13 trips. Get into the red zone again, get derailed by a penalty, and have to settle here. 10-6 ball game here with the Colts leading the Rams. That kickoff bouncing awkwardly. We've talked about kickoffs. It's been a big weapon for the Rams. It doesn't burn the Colts to the season for the former first-round pick of the Giants, who was released last year. Off the play fake finds Warren, and Warren cannot break free of Nate Landman.
There's 4 powerful words you can tell a quarterback. I believe in you.
Well, and that's been the crux of the philosophy for Sean McVay. 4-man rush. Jones, quick toss. Fit that into a tight window, and it's Josh Downs again. Omar Spates on the tackle, but an 8-yard gain and a first down. Off the play fake. Jones with a flag down, and he's going to just throw this ball away.
Holding, number 68. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
First down and 20. Jones and Warren in all kinds of traffic. Nate Landman knifing across the picture, and Landman
for the Rams.
I asked for Shula about him. He said he's a Ram. That was the highest compliment he could give. Jones looking down the field, and couldn't and broke off his route.
Routine, how you study your scripts, and it really left an impression on Tanny.
Well, there's no doubt. Jonathan Taylor tripped up. There's Landman again. Rigoberto Sanchez had to remember how to do it last week. He had his first punt of the season last week. Now back-to-back games with a punt and a good wow. Uncorks a beauty. That's going to bounce at the 1 and go out of bounds. Who needs game practice? Rigoberto Sanchez, that leg is fresh. The aim is true. The Rams at the 4. Stafford will throw from his own end zone, and there's the first targeted catch for Davante Adams down at the 9-yard line with Mike Hilton there to cover him up. 2nd and 5 for the Rams from their 9. Kyron Williams the carry, and Williams with a first down just across the 14-yard line. Zaire Franklin.
At the 5, if the defense could have made a stop, get the offense back on the field here at the end of the half, maybe get some points out of it.
Skip that one incomplete to Kyron Williams. Stafford, backside pressure comes as he throws for Nacua on the sidelines. At the 38 and out of bounds. Nick Cross with the tackle, a pickup of 23.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, it's just a simple corner route and the corner, and Nick Cross is just late getting there.
Stafford on first down, open on the sideline. He just missed Tyler Higbee. On 2nd and 10. Stafford down the sideline, way too tall for Puka Nacua. Xavier Howard out there in the coverage. 3rd and 10. And on 3rd and 10. Stafford open over the middle. It's Davante Adams. That's a first down, and now the Rams are thinking points. To the Colts 46, a pickup of 16. And a minute on the clock. Stafford finds Nacua, and Nacua picks up 9.
It's what he does when he does it, and Kyron Williams just put a great chip block on it.
Stafford open over the middle. Higbee will secure this one, and down to the 21, and a timeout called by Sean McVay. First down and 10 at the 21. Stafford looking in trouble. Down he goes. Takes the sack back at the 27, and the Rams will use the timeout. Latu with his first sack of the year, and he drops Stafford at the 27.
It's really the first time.
Nakua's in the slot at the bottom, empty backfield. Now Nacua in motion. They set up the screen to Nacua with blockers. Nacua inside the 15, and Puka down to the 10. It's a first down.
So impressive to watch this offense when it's functioning. Now, a lot of times you think this screen is going outside, but with Puka Nacua, he's going to come back into the middle of the field. I mean, it's a great job by everybody. You got your wide receivers outside. Alaric Jackson does a great job, paying back. Kyron Williams.
Stafford into the end zone. Davante Adams with the touchdown. And the 96-yard Rams drive puts 6 on the board and grabs the lead late first half.
Well, you had one of the safeties move. Watch the safety back here in the back.
Cardi on for the extra point. And momentum for the Rams. I predict that. I mean, that would be quite the prediction. And the kickoff this time through the end zone. They should feel good about that. Daniel Jones and the Colts are going to take a knee, and the undefeated Indianapolis Colts will head into the locker room down by 3. 100-yard day, 7 catches for 112 yards for Nacua. Second half underway. We've already got a flag down. There is a flag at the beginning of this kick, so someone out of alignment.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. A player of the kicking team moved prior to being eligible to do that. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the return. First down.
From the 35-yard line on first down. Kyron Williams, a little stutter step, tries to veer back to the right, and he breaks a tackle with some space. A little up and under move, and a second, and Williams with a first down. And the handoff again to the left side this time, and Kyron Williams to midfield. Allison Williams, you got the chance to talk with these coaches. 2nd down and 6. Stafford the handoff to Corum, and Corum bear hug at midfield. Devontae Adams in motion. 5-man pressure. Stafford throwing for Adams, and the pass broken up by Charvarius Ward. In the locker room at the moment as Ethan Evans will punt it away. Colts defense got the stop they wanted. Anthony Gould will watch that one sail out of bounds. Carissa asked him about it on the pregame show today. He didn't exactly embrace the idea of the Indiana. 2nd down and 10. Jones has to check it short to Taylor. Taylor looking for a block and then a stiff arm as he goes out near the 24-yard line. 3rd and 4. Jones down the sideline, one-on-one. Oh, what a catch! Adonai Mitchell down the sideline, turning on the speed, and a little stiff arm ushering into the end zone for a Colts touchdown. But did he lose the ball going out of the end zone before he crossed the goal line?
Ball? I think it may have come out early.
He sticks it out, and it slips out of his hand. Unbelievable.
The ruling on the field is the ball was loose prior to crossing the goal line. It went in and out of the end zone. The result of the play is a touchback. 1st down, Rams.
A turnover on the opening drive of each half now for the Colts. Stafford to work. And it's Nacua back on the field. They were checking his thumb in the locker room.
Get some extra snaps because Alec Pierce is out. We're fine with Adonai Mitchell. He's earned that right. We're confident in what he can do. Just
colossal blunder by Indianapolis. Stafford chased with a flag down, finds Corum, and Corum down just shy of the 40-yard line. Stafford pumps, pressure comes, slings it sidearm, and it's incomplete. He wanted Atwell.
They're getting that football thrown in the direction of a viable receiver so he doesn't take that sack.
Gould at the 5. Finds a little bit of room, and before he can get to the 20, the door slams shut. Here's the next opportunity for the Colts offense as Jonathan Taylor runs into Jared Verse, and he yanks him back by the jersey after a minimal gain. 6 defensive backs for the Rams. They set it up for Taylor, trying to get behind his blockers, and an outstanding tackle by Jalen McCullough. Jones with pressure coming to the sideline, drops it in for Pittman, but it's off his fingertips and incomplete. Darius Williams on the coverage.
In this offense, we talked about how they're just not performing.
His first one, 56 yards. Xavier Smith with the fair catch called near the 27-yard line.
Play, but the best thing he can do is just get rid of that and finish this game and come to terms with it mentally and emotionally afterwards.
2nd and 3. Stafford, pressure coming. He's in trouble. Down he goes. Finishing it off was Adibare, but give Nick Cross the credit. He came in on the blitz and forced him into the arms of his big defensive lineman.
Yeah, no, it's one of the great things that this defense is able to do. There he is, number 20 coming in. Is Lou Anarumo is really, really good at designing things with. Lou does a really, really good job of maximizing their talents.
4-man rush on 3rd and 11. Stafford waiting for his man to come open. Deflected and incomplete. Wanted Higbee. Jonathan Edwards out there on the coverage. It'll bring up 4th down, and the Colts forced to punt once more.
Kyron Williams is at it again.
Samson Ebukam was the recipient of that block. What a punt. Gould driven all the way back to the 7-yard line. Talk about out-kicking your coverage as Gould able to work it back to the 25. Just a boomer from
cancer survivor. So you talk about resilience. We throw it around with these guys out here on the field, that is true resiliency.
No,
that is just outstanding.
Help they put up names of every. They'll bring Taylor in motion into the backfield. And they set up the screen to Taylor, and it is blown up by Quentin Lake. It was set up with 3 blockers beyond the catch point.
Yeah, I don't really get this because it's really easy to telegraph, right? I mean, it's coming right out here. And you know, again, trust what your eyes are telling you. Quentin Lake does a great job of like, yeah, this looks pretty easy to diagnose, and just goes up and makes a great play.
Colts 0 for their last 4 on 3rd down. Rams bring pressure up the middle. Jones trying to stay alive, and he'll just throw this one away. Is that intentional grounding? Taylor was... Rams defense stymieing the Colts. Smith at the 26, and an excellent tackle made by Ashton Doolin. Another Michigan man. Like Corum with the football in his hands right now, and he's swallowed up. DeForest Buckner making some big plays again today. That's a 2-yard loss.
I tell you, this guy inside, it just, I mean, he's something. I mean, watch him just control the line of scrimmage. He's pushing it back.
2nd and 12. Stafford in trouble. He'll scramble. Stafford making some moves, and Matthew Stafford. Any one wrong move could cause that to flare up again. Pressure coming on 3rd down. Nacua sliding grab is made, but he's down. Touched down at the 35-yard, where the ball slipped out of his hands as he stuck it out at the goal line and went through the end zone for a touchback. Fair catch called for and made by Anthony Gould. Jones finds Pittman. Just the 2nd catch of the day for Michael Pittman, and our 2nd game break of the day with Chris Thompson.
180!
2nd and 1. And Jonathan Taylor trying to find a little something. Just his Rams fans of the afternoon. Punishing run for Jonathan Taylor.
I just think he's going to take it to the house.
On 2nd down, it's Taylor again. 3rd straight carry and a 1st down. Shane Steichen's strategy this year has been pass to score in the...
Does it make more sense just to kind of continue what you've done all year?
Play fake. Over the middle, finding Pittman, who twists his way across the Rams 45 for 17. Afternoon, a good ball game as we start the 4th quarter. Play action. Jones checking it short. Good catch by Tyler Goodson, but he can't turn it upfield with Josiah Stewart, the rookie from Michigan.
Play from what he called a dirty pocket, not let him have clean reads. They've done that most of the afternoon. This is really the first series where it has looked a little cleaner.
And Taylor with a clean run around that right side. He was being chased the whole way by Byron Young, but you talked about the power. Play action. Open on the sideline is Ashton Doolin. That's a 1st down by plenty to the 26-yard line. He picks up 11.
Had to do a whole lot this season.
From the 26 on 1st down, Taylor looking for space. Not much there this time. A yard is all. Omar Spates. Indianapolis this afternoon. Jones, play action. Backside pressure comes as he gets rid of it. Juggling catches made inside the 5 and down to the 2. Tyler Warren sets the Colts up with a 1st and goal. A 23-yard pickup.
Really nice. And it just everything, the combination of the routes. You're going to see the post go over the top of Tyler Warren, and then he's going to break to the left right behind it. Right there, it's Michael Pittman clearing that out. You've got another
10 plays, 88 yards so far. Jonathan Taylor, the single back. Jones will turn. Play action. Flag is down. Jones to the end zone. Caught for the touchdown by Michael Pittman. And the Colts take the lead.
Yeah, this is another tough one, right? I mean, you're running all the way across the field. You get beat right away. You don't need the rub. You don't need to take anybody through a web or anything like that. Emmanuel Forbes has got to be ready. Be at least on top of the receiver, playing outside leverage with no inside help.
Extra point is good, and the Colts on top 17-13. Smith on the run at the 5 for the Rams. Out across the 25 before he is down. And on first down, ball is out. Williams lost it, loose on the turf, still being dribbled about, and the Colts have it at the 17-yard line.
And boy, he's going to make the play of the day right here. Just shoots that gap. Nobody sees him. He's up into the backfield immediately. Tremendous job by Mike Hilton.
And Adetomiwa Adebawore had that ball bounce, dribble around, and finally reaches out like the old hungry hippo game and just scoops it back in. That arm just shoots out of there, and Adebawore scooping it up. First and 10 at the 17-yard line. Jones off play action. Looking for Warren. He finds him at the 5. Flags all over the field working against Quentin Lake, and Warren.
Pass interference, number 84. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Here's Taylor. Patient run. Keeps waiting for something to open. It just won't. Second and 20. Screen for Pittman. Well defended. That's Jared Verse. We saw him blow up. See how aggressive the Colts get. Not very with Taylor. Taylor, though, bouncing it to the edge, gets inside the 20. Snap and hold are good, as is the kick. Xavier Smith at the 1. Smith can find a space. Ooh, hit hard at the 30-yard line, and a flag down behind the play. Tackle.
During the return, holding number 30 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Play action. Stafford to Williams. Kyron Williams, another stiff arm. He's been the stiff arm king today. Joe Bacci. Straight drop for Stafford. Kyron Williams with an excellent block to buy Stafford some time. We have said that before, but Kyron Williams just chipped Latu
Outside and reset and tried to throw the ball, but he's just such a smart football player.
And now second and 10. Instead of a sack or a turnover, they get 10 more to Puka Nacua and another first down.
That's what he wanted to see here today, that strain, the relentless strain by his team.
Stafford, pocket collapsing, a collision with the football in the air. Davis Allen makes the catch. There's a flag down, though, at the line of scrimmage.
You know, the ability to get open by Puka Nacua, the rapport that he and Matthew have built, it's like they cannot cover it.
And the toss, Colby Parkinson with his third catch of the season.
The pass receiving leader of the NFL here today, and they have not even come close.
Back-to-back Parkinson catches, and he's down to the 46 of the Colts. Bacci on the tackle on that 96-yard drive for the score. Here's Williams up the middle, and Williams straining to the 40-yard line. What a grab by Davis Allen. He had Nick Cross collide with him.
Number 69, offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Four-man pressure. Stafford with time to the sideline for Davante Adams at the 30, inside the 25 before Adams is finally stood up near the 23 by Mike Hilton and Cameron Bynum. All right, Carissa, thank you. Stafford back to work quickly, lobbing it up. Tutu Atwell broke free. There's a flag. Mike Hilton and Tutu Atwell got tangled up.
Pass interference, number 33, defense. Ball placed at the spot of the foul, automatic.
5:15 to go in the fourth. Stafford off the play fake. And jarred out is Whittington by Nick Cross, who's been all over the field.
Ineligible player downfield, number 69, offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Stafford. Pressure comes, and somehow Kyron Williams is able to catch that football. Mike Hilton doing a swim move. Stafford incomplete. Devontae Adams. Nacua in motion. They look for him. They find him at the 20. Nacua inside the 10, and he's got about 1 yard to go before the first down. The ankle tackle stymieing Puka Nacua after the 11-yard gain. Down a touchdown. 3:25 to go. They'll go. Stafford looking, throws. Nacua with the catch and the touchdown.
And he does this without getting an offensive pass interference called on him, right? It's clean. You can't do anything. But it creates so much space, and that's all Matthew Stafford needs. He just needs that little break. Coming into the game, and he makes that break inside. It's the timing. We've seen it time and time again today. It is so hard to defend.
And this game is tied
For 333 yards. Hey, we got to stop number 12. He's a game record today. 14 targets, 13 catches, 170 yards.
Certainly Matthew Stafford understands where Puka's going to be almost every play. Jones on first down, finding the rookie tight end Tyler Warren. A flag in at the end of the play.
Personal foul. Hit on a defenseless receiver. Number 48 defense. That 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Handoff Taylor, bouncing off his own blocker, trying to find some room. Trying to take a page out of the Kyron Williams book and stiff-arm Darius Williams, but Williams and Curl combined to throw Taylor for a loss.
Now that was the other one, right? Sean McVay talked to us about population tackling. It helps when Jared Verse is able to stop.
2nd and 13. And flags some motion early. It'll be a false start.
False start. Number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Low snap. Jones, short and incomplete. Wanted downs. Goodness.
Pass interference, number 37, defense, automatic, first down.
Ogletree motioning out of the full house backfield. It's Taylor the carry. Taylor finds a crease. Taylor spinning free. Taylor on the run with the speed. Down the sideline. Touchdown, Indianapolis. But there is a flag back at the 45, and this one looks like it's coming back.
Holding, number 10. Offense,
Oh boy.
10-yard penalty, first down.
He had to let that earlier play get out of his head because you don't want to compound that by making another big mistake, and he just did.
Jones backpedaling down the sideline, incomplete. He wanted Pittman. Four-man pressure, but it gets to Jones. The ball pops out, stripped out by Verse, and recovered by Ryman to save it for the Colts. But Jared Verse, we said earlier he's living in the backfield. He can now vote in the Colts backfield.
Now here they got to get about 15 yards so they can kick in effectively.
And they're going to try to get that with Jonathan Taylor, who picks up. They only had one all year before today. So Sanchez, who pinned the Rams inside the 10 in the first half, trying to do it again. Going to be inside the 10, caught and a fair catch by Xavier Smith. For 49 game-winning drives in his career. Trying to start one here, and he's got Atwell all alone. 2-2 Atwell, and it's 2-2 goodbye. One play, 88 yards, and 2-2 takes it for 6.
You know something happens when you find somebody that wide open down the field. And he crosses back underneath, you tangle your feet up, and all of a sudden, Cameron Bynum has got no shot. He's gotten out leverage because he's playing his responsibility. And you can see right here, he just clicks his heels together. It's like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, Kevin, except he's not going home, he's going to the ground.
Well, Atwell's going home. He handled the home part. 88 yards for the touchdown. And just like that, Matthew Stafford 375 yards passing and 3 scores. And a 27-20 Rams lead.
It's almost identical, right? You've got the game won against the Eagles last week. You just got to finish it. They get an opportunity here to finish with their defense.
Well, it's already hard enough, Darryl, to stop Matthew Stafford and this Rams offense. Carl Cheffers will tell us about the flag.
Holding number 85, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down, Indianapolis.
Narumo crazy.
Daniel Jones checking it short with pressure coming to Jonathan Taylor, and Taylor hauls it to the 20-yard line, a 9-yard gain on the play. Down a touchdown. Low snap to Jones. To the sideline, and Adonai Mitchell with the catch. 76-yard touchdown. He lost the ball. It went out of the back of the end zone for a touchback, not a touchdown. And flags fly.
False start, number 56. Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And that's your rock in the front too. I mean, Quentin Nelson. It's going to go down the left side. Cam Curl playing that deep half, and just the whole, you know where it's going. You got to hold that safety. You know, hopefully you've got a route that's going down the middle of the field, and then as a quarterback, you got to look him off. But Daniel Jones was locked onto Michael Pittman that whole time, made it easy.
First and 15. Jones heaves it for Pittman on the sideline. Intercepted! Cam Curl's done it again! His second pick of the day! So the game is not over yet. Kyron Williams trying to end it as he gets good yardage on a first down run, and the Colts will use a timeout.
You can see, you know, the results of all the effort they put in during the work week. This was a very confident team, and we sensed that vibe at practice on Friday.
And a first down for the Rams.
After we were ahead and gave up the lead and then came back and put ourselves in a position to retake the lead on the home field of the Super Bowl defending champions. And he said, absolutely. So we'll go. And now it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back next week.
So the Los Angeles Rams bounce back from their disappointment against the Philadelphia